Claude Kurzo, in JP Morgan, asset management isn't necessarily the biggest division or what the bank's most well known for. How can you ensure that you're getting the management attention to your business?
Well, I think first of all, it is a sizable business. So we contribute about 2.4 billion of profit to the overall group. And it's also considered to be a growth engine. So we've been growing substantially over the last couple of years. And we have a great growth potential. So we are considered a growth business and also receive therefore a lot of investment, which helps us and to grow the business.
Can you tell me maybe a little bit where those growth pockets are or how you differentiate, set yourself apart?
There's a number of things, but first and foremost, the essence of what an asset manager is delivering investment performance. And that's clearly one of our differentiators. We have 80% of our assets under management are in the first and second quartile in terms of performance ranking, so ahead of our competitors, which makes us a strong player in the arena. I think the second thing is also innovation. We do a lot of innovation in private markets. We brought an infrastructure fund to the market that took the minimum from 10 million to 100,000, so makes it available to a much broader audience. So innovation is a second important driver of our growth success, I would say.
And what I wanted to ask you as well is sort of more ideologically, is a raging debate in asset management about what the asset manager of the future will look like. What do you think?
It's a very interesting question, and I think it's in the context of an industry that has a lot of price pressures. We see pricing going down by 2, 3, 4% every year. At the same time, there's a massive need for investments into sustainability capability, into technology, into new markets. And price pressure and massive investment, a lot of the large players, the top 10 players, can take that very well. And so we've seen market share gains of the top 10 players. We've also seen market share gains of focused players, so players that are focused on one single geography or on one channel or on one investment capability, so they've been growing quite nicely as well. The challenge is more in the middle, as it typically is, players that are relatively broad in the capability set, but are not in the top 10 in terms of size.
Can you remind me, Claude, where JP Morgan ranks?
We are globally a number 4 in the asset management industry, and actually in Switzerland equally we are number 3 currently according to the rankings.
That would be measured by assets, I
That's
assume.
measured by assets, that's
okay.
correct.
Now, some of the factors that you mentioned as well before, like technology, are pushing some people or some of your competitors into either a consolidation or into a little bit more of a cooperation. We've seen quite a lot of that in Europe, especially within banks who own asset managers like JP Morgan. Can you tell us what the strategy of JP Morgan is in that respect?
We've been very successful with organic growth and focus on cooperation. So we have a lot of good examples. We just closed a cooperation agreement with the largest asset manager in Turkey, where we are based on white labeling and sub-advisory have quite complementary capabilities. So cooperation is a big topic. Also in Switzerland, we believe there's a lot of potential for cooperations. At the same time, as you say, there is a lot going on also with regard to acquisitions in the market and in the industry. And obviously we are monitoring that very carefully, and we are part of that industry. So we are monitoring it very carefully as well.
Is that something that your New York headquarters would be willing to spend money on, an asset management acquisition? Absolutely.
I mean, going back to the point about the growth engine and the opportunity for growth in asset management, the senior management in New York is committed to growth in any form, organic or inorganic.
Okay, good to know. Can you tell me a little bit sort of on the ground, what products are your investors here in Switzerland interested in at the moment?
I think a big part is sustainability. So we've seen 46% of flows going into sustainable products, according to Morningstar. Now one can debate the categorization of Morningstar to some degree, but it's a big part is becoming sustainability. The second piece is alternatives. A 60-40 long-only portfolio these days in the long-term outlook looks at a 3% return. That's not enough for many investors and not diversified enough. So we see a lot of demand for private markets. Infrastructure is a good example where we've seen a lot of demand last year and also this year in that space.
I think the whole industry is slowly crawling out of the pandemic like the rest of the world as well. Can you maybe outline a little bit what JP Morgan's plans are post-pandemic in your business area?
So we are very excited about the prospects, as probably all of us are, that the pandemic will ease. We're really looking forward to get back to the office with the teams in Geneva and in Zurich. It's part of our culture and it's an important part of our culture. And we are looking forward to seeing clients again in person. We are planning for our big flagship events in New York with the CIO Summit, for the Research Summit in Brussels for the second half of the year. We will have events again in person in Zurich and in Geneva. So we are very excited and believe that it will make a big difference. In-person meetings are very important. It's part of our human culture. And so we are very excited about the opening up of the economy.
As are we. Thank you, Claude Kurzo. It's been a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here. Thank you.